My name's Tim. I am Managing Director of Bid and Research Development. We are a specialist bid writing consultancy. We like to think we are the finest bid writing consultancy in the UK, if not the world. That's my shameless plug. So we specialise in helping companies to secure contracts primarily with the public sector, with local authorities, NHS, housing associations, emergency services and central government departments. We're a team of 6 based in the northeast in sunny Stockton, and as Paul mentioned, that information is a little bit out of date. I need to update my LinkedIn account. We've run around £3 billion worth of public sector contracts in the last 5 years. So I was tasked with coming to talk to you about bids and kind of get people a bit excited about it. So you thought you were coming here to hear about bids, tenders and procurement, but who's heard of The Secret? You know that thing, The Secret. Richard Branson, he knows The Secret. Actually, The Secret is bids and tenders. Well, I think it is. So, who's heard of the Majestic Wine Warehouse?
Love it.
Who's ever seen anyone buy wine in the Majestic Wine Warehouse?
Does it include yourself?
Okay, there are 2 customers there. Everyone's heard of it. There's never anyone in it.
It's just me when I'm there.
It's just you rambling
They've got
around
samples
buying.
as well.
It's got samples. Okay, maybe they need to advertise that a bit more. Majestic Wine Warehouse win millions of pounds worth of public sector contracts every year. So Serco are a huge company, but you've never seen them at a business breakfast. You don't see them networking, yet they are a huge company. How are they a huge company? They win massive multi-million pound contracts. They've just won the biggest contract the UK government have ever awarded, worth £1.9 billion. That's billion with a B, not with an M. 1.9 billion to manage 5,000 properties. If you can dream it, you can bid it, you can win it. You want to win a contract to provide some ferries? Haven't got any ferries? You can bid it, you can win it. Want to win a contract to print some passports, some lovely blue British passports? You're a French company, you don't like the British, you can bid it, you can win it. There are people out there winning contracts that probably shouldn't be winning. We should be winning them. Companies in this room should be winning them, but they're not going after them. Does anyone know what the chances are of winning the lottery?
Slim.
Slim. I'm going to have to read this off the sheet. It's 1 in 45,057,474. Not a great chance. But in the UK, every year there's £65 billion worth of public sector contracts awarded to SME businesses. £65 billion. Last year there was 19,000 contracts awarded with an average contract value of £184,000. Quite a big opportunity. So why have I compared it to the lottery? So the lottery, you've got a 1 in 45 million chance of winning. Public sector procurement, on average you have a 1 in 8 chance of winning. So if you see a contract opportunity out there, chances are there are 8 bidders. Pretty good odds if you ask me. People say that bidding is hard work, it's a lot of paperwork, it takes a lot of time, and it does. It really does. But if the average contract's worth £184,000, I think more people should be spending a bit more time looking at these opportunities, considering these opportunities. If the average business has a customer that's worth, say, £1,000 a year to them, you need to find 184 new customers, manage 184 new customers, sustain 184 new customers to win the value of work that you can win through one tender. Some of those clients will fall off, some of them you'll keep for 20, 30 years. But the average tender, the contract lasts around 3 years, and the contract lengths are increasing. Public sector austerity is seeing cuts across the public sector in all areas. And procurement's the same. One way they're saving some money is increasing the contract lengths. So instead of contracting for 2 years, I might contract for 2 years with 2-year extension clauses in it. And I'm sure you can agree that the public sector are probably going to be pretty good at paying you, you'd hope. the majority of them. So I'm going to tell you a little story based on the Disney theme. The once upon a time, then every day, one day, because of that, until finally. So once upon a time, there was a business that wanted to grow. Every day, they worked hard trying to find new clients. They go to networking events. They get talking to those weirdos that they couldn't get away from. You know the ones. They just want to go and speak to someone else because that person's got no chance of ever buying from them. But one day, they discovered the secret, the magical lottery for huge sustainable growth. And because of that, they discovered how the Majestic Wine Warehouse stayed open. They'd never seen circle at a breakfast event. And because of that, they could bid for big contracts and achieve real scale. Until finally, they could hang out with those Russian billionaire kids on Instagram with models and bottles and private jets and give high fives to the Majestic Wine Warehouse. Disney haven't made that film yet, but I'm sure it's coming soon. And I'd like to think that one of these businesses in here could be the star of that film. So hopefully you can get a little bit excited about bidding. You might not be so excited when you try to do it. That's the reality. So there's all of these opportunities, and the public sector would make them easy to find, right? Wrong. There are around 1,700 different tender portals across the UK for multiple different organisations. Luckily in the North East we've got quite a good collaborative approach. We've got an organisation called NEPO, which looks after public sector opportunities for all of the local authorities. That's NEPO. If you don't know it, look it up. You'll find a whole load of opportunities from providing loaves of bread to cleaning windows, building houses, you name it, you'll find it. Anything the public sector is buying. And there's a central register. If you're looking a bit more nationally, Contracts Finder is a good resource. There's around 60 to 70% of opportunities across the UK can be found on a register called Contracts Finder. The rest, a little bit harder to come by. Shameless plug, we do have an opportunity sorting service at a small subscription. Speak to me later. So some people say to me, isn't it all fixed? It's jobs for the boys. They already know who they're going to award it to. Sometimes they do. But sometimes they don't. I would say the majority of the time they don't. Around 90% we see a fair, open, transparent process. There's always the odd person that can twist someone's arm and get in there early. And there's certain services where it is a bit more bespoke. If you're doing something like building a specialist software, imagine you worked at the local authority and you say, right, we want this software and this is what it's going to do. We're going to put it out to tender. They're not experts in that. They don't know how they're going to build that, how much it's going to cost, how much time it's going to take. And they do engage with organisations up front to try and develop the specification. And in those situations, sometimes it can be a little bit one-sided towards the organisation that's helped them. But there's been a few things that have happened which have levelled the playing field in the world of tenders. We need to thank the potato farmers of Ireland. The potato farmers of Ireland were very kindly bribing Sainsbury's, which changed UK procurement law. For a number of years, they were buying expensive gifts for the procurement team at Sainsbury's, until one day, an Aston Martin turned up with a big red bow on the top for the procurement manager, which raised a few eyebrows. You know, this guy, the procurement manager, is doing well, earning around £40,000 a year, but someone noticed when a £200,000 Aston Martin turned up. Needless to say, all those people are in prison. And EU procurement law drives our UK procurement law, for now, who knows for how long. And that's become a little bit fairer too, thanks to the Italians. Those crafty Italians were, let's say, rigging prices. There's construction companies who were bidding for contracts. The biggest construction companies in the country came together and they would work out what the prices were together, put an extra 20 million on top, and they would take turns winning public sector contracts. It was only when someone realised that there was a clear pattern in who was winning things that they all went to prison too. So it is a much fairer process these days. The government official line is, a tender is a process which assesses companies based upon commercial and qualitative submissions to identify meet the most economically advantageous tender. Basically, a blend between price and quality. So, we've got a level playing field. You've found some opportunities. It's time to decide what to bid for. Remember at school when you'd get those tests and it'd say read the questions before you answer the questions, and then the last question would say only answer question 2 or something like that. It's not quite that simple, but read the questions. This is a practical tip. There's some key things that can help you with bidding for contracts. One of the main differentiators between winning and losing tenders is picking the right ones. Read the questions. Generally you'll have five questions. There's the odd one that puts out 300 questions that drives you insane, but usually there's about 5 questions. Look at those questions. Are they generic questions? Or is there something that they're asking that's too specific? And you think, why are they asking that? Is it that they've engaged someone beforehand? Is it that they want something specific that aligns to someone else? And look at the breakdown of the scoring in a tender. Typically a tender will be scored 50-50 on price and quality. Sometimes it goes 60-40. That doesn't tell you a great deal. If it's any more than that, you've got to think about why. So if it's 70% based on price, and it's an existing contract that they're re-procuring, you've got to think they're probably pretty happy with the quality they're getting. This is just an exercise to squeeze the price a bit, and do you want to be part of that process in helping them get a better price from their current provider? Probably not. If it's 70% based on quality, you know that maybe they're not too happy with what they've had before. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to step in there and win that tender. So read the questions, have a look at it, and pick the right opportunities. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of documentation to read. You're going to put a lot of effort into it. Not as much effort as maybe going out and finding lots and lots of smaller clients, but there will be a lot of effort, and you'll put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. So do it right. Don't do it half-assed, because there will be someone out there who's thinking, I really, really want to win this. Someone will be doing it properly. If you give it half a day, knock something together, you're not going to win it. Someone else will be doing it right. So it's not a quick fix. I tried to sell you a bit of a dream. I've crashed you with some realities, but it is possible. There's companies out there achieving that Disney story every day. There's companies achieving significant growth, winning contract after contract, achieving significant growth, and other companies sitting back saying, how is that majestic wine warehouse so damn big? So if you are looking at tenders, or if you're thinking of looking at tenders, we've got a lot of videos on YouTube that tell you some key tips of how to do things completely free. This isn't a plug at all. Have a look there. There's plenty of practical tips that can help you. And I'll be around today if anyone's got any more questions that they want to ask. But thank you all for listening, putting up with my cheesy jokes, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the week.